So I spent like an hour talking to this weirdo on the internet, and chatting along, like, they might be interested in you helping them create a script or something, but then they're like, it's not just creating, it's actually acting in it, and they're like inviting me to use my name in a movie that's never going to make it to any box office or anything. And I know that because it literally has your personal name in it, and that's nothing to make a movie out of. And so, and it's filmed in London or wherever, somewhere in the UK, anyways. And they're like, asking all these weird questions, trying to intone the aspect of, gender inequality in this kids movie that's like, ages, filmed in 1970s or so. And they're like, it's all based around, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and so there's a lot of, undertones to that movie, how ethical it is, and the aspect of, rudeness used in the underside of things, the tone of the characters are insinuating certain aspects of foul play while saying, then nonchalant kind of opinions, it's totally unethical. Anyway, I spent over an hour discussing things about it, and then they're like, obviously they're trying to intone the aspect of, lots of different aspects, and then after like an hour conversation, they're like, so what we would like to do is pitch your specific name to be in this movie, and we want you yourself to be in this movie, and it's going to be filmed on the outskirts of London, and we want you to write your scripts, give us all the information on how you would like to be portrayed in this movie, so that you can come to London to film this movie, which you're probably not going to be paid for, and this and that. And obviously it's probably going to be indulged in some sort of sexual contact, because there is an underlining tone of whether or not you believe in the aspect of fairness in this uneven, unequal scenes where, so, and all this other stuff, you can go to town with the flamboyance of what ifs. And anyway, and then I was like, no, I don't really feel like traveling. I'm not really much of a traveler. I'm just interested in writing a script. I'm okay for someone to act it, even use my name if you want. It's not going to make it to the box office anyway, and everything's going to be a waste of time. But, and they're like, but we would like you to be part of this creation, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, thank you. So, it's just over an hour of a waste of time with some. I know they're possibly like the creators of the movie, because the way they throw out words is like, okay, well, it's a little bit of a sex ploy intentionally, but they can really put together the film and shove you right in the middle of it. It's like, personalizing your own film, really. If you're a starlet or by yourself and not really caring about yourself and willing to be taken on a plane to go wherever and film whatever and maybe have a little bit of this and that at the end, and then you can go back home. If you don't mind doing that, all good for you if you feel like doing that. But I don't feel like going on a plane or anything. I didn't really want to meet these people. I just sort of wanted to just write the script. I'd be okay if they organized for the script to be delivered by an actor in London. That would be fine. Or even doing it over the internet. I could do that. But I'm not really keen on actually traveling right now. It's been a while since I've traveled. Kind of overweight. Don't really want to go to a Wonka set where you have to crawl through that tiny little door. Uh, not that keen on claustrophobia. So, essentially, if I was alone and I was down and desperate, didn't really care, willing to do anything, just make everything free. Sometimes I would probably put myself in that kind of situation. I mean, who doesn't love, Willy Wonka? But at the moment, I don't really feel like it, and I'm all like negative, And I don't really want my parent to see me get dragged into a car, shoved on a plane, it's carted off to, London, and then do this movie and then come back, a little bit less of a used tool, a little bit more of a used tool than anything else. Probably not paid, since it's such a crappy movie with your name in it. No one will probably want to see it, with an extra character. What's that, But, if it was the same names and same characters, you might have a chance, but with your name in it, it's like, it's a little bit over the top. Obviously people are just picked you up and taking you for a ride. You might even get to fall from a sky level in a glass elevator. But obviously it's a real dump, when you bother to do something like that. I mean, sometimes if I were like nothing was working out, I probably would do it. But since I'm not keen on acting right now, I mean, I do want to act just locally. I do want to do films, just local films. I don't really want to go anywhere off the country, especially with COVID still around. And so essentially, I don't really feel like doing little free outtakes. I'm sure like the ad says unpaid, so I doubt very much you would be paid, and this and that. So it's a little pervy, little pile of crap. You're like going, don't really feel like it. So I totally just logged off the internet. I'll probably showcase the words that were said. Probably I should pause this and show it as part of this video, actually, because it'll be like, then you get the idea of what's it all about. But I wonder if I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of disheartened though that you're just like some weirdo puppet, just someone waiting to put their hand in and using their little play for free, all expenses paid. At least it's that. But I don't know. I just feel weird right now, and I feel like I'm letting myself down, but I'm also like giving myself a little bit more respect than just flinging myself out for a freebie play. I don't know. Maybe someone in my situation wouldn't just throw it away. Maybe they'd want to do it. Maybe they'd be like, yeah, sure, I'm really eager to do my name in a Wonka film that will not make it to any box office and will probably be discouraged from being published. I've actually done this film at least one other time with these people in like ages ago. And they're probably going to knock on my door and drag me out of the house and shove me on a plane and take me way over there. So, yeah. But I'll show this conversation to give the scope of the whole conversation that I had, because I feel kind of weird and undone mentally for being on the internet so long with some weirdo strangers. Okay, so I just got inside. I'm going to turn my computer on and show you this thing. I'm not sure if it's a warning to anyone. I don't know if anyone should be warned, but if they buzz my button, I might call the cops. But afterwards, I've got to do a few other things, I feel like. getting off the computer. I've been on the computer all afternoon. Well, ever since 1:30 or 2:30. It's now 6:30, so I'll just do this real quick. So this is like the conversation. So it's like, oh, that's great. The classic version is going to be a reference point. I want to focus on some footage. What are your initial thoughts on this footage of Violet being with the Oompa Loompas? And then it's like, I really want to focus on the darkness and uncomfortable aspects of the scene. Is there anything you find uncomfortable? And then it's like, yeah, the fact that she's a berry that needs to be juiced, lots of hands-on maltreatment from the Oompa Loompas, rolling a girl out of a room, something not to teach kids to do, and the fact that Willy Wonka does not care while observing is kind of disturbing, and her being able to get so big that she can bust is pretty disturbing too. And then it's like, great observations. Do you personally find Oompa Loompas intimidating? There are various scenes in the movies where guests feel like each has her own darkness. It's interesting how Wonka has no empathy for the parent in each scene, but some are worse. But Mr. Beauregard is bordering on a panic attack. As Wonka calmly watches, how do you think a dad would feel in this situation? And then it's like, are they any more intimidating because they seem to be a male? Are they intimidating because they are dwarves? Are they many questions? Blah, blah, blah. My first big thing to question you would be this, based on the original movie. If I were to ask you to update Violet to mundane, change her age to 21, how would you want her to look? Does she have a father and mother? Do you feel the original exit is suitable, or is there anything that you would change? That's really interesting. So tell me about Mrs. TV. Do you remember the way she was taken away? I can attach pics if not. Do you think her being dragged out, she fainted and dragged out, do you think her being dragged out was a fair exit? Do you know that Mrs. Gloop and Mrs. TV were physically removed by the Oompa Loompas, but only male to be physically removed was Mr. Beauregard? Do you notice a theme? This is a conclusion I've come to. It may be wrong, but I'm really happy to be challenged by it. It's something I'd like to discuss and explore in this production. I want to make Oompa Loompas even creepier if possible, and get the idea that they can collect some form of trophy from each guest as they are removed. Wouldn't this be kind of creepy? Do you feel the mothers in the films are intimidated by Oompa Loompas? Coat shoes, whatever. Would you find it creepier if they would take your shoe or coat? Which of those would creep you out more, and this and that? Could you imagine yourself winning a golden ticket and going to a factory tomorrow, or is that a difficult image for you? Let's go down the route of you winning a golden ticket in the old-fashioned way to the original movie, and then it's like, I want your personal name. What would be your outfit? And then it's like, oh, okay, the whole character is going to be my personal exact name. Yes, we will base this entirely around your authentic self to start, but base everything on who you are. So if I come up with a script for myself, someone else is to be hired act as a role as my name in their character. No, not at all. I want you involved in this production as a writer and portray yourself. First of all, I want to base a character around you and get your thoughts and feelings and see where we can take her. I'll fire questions and you just be yourself, and we'll build this little by little. So what would be your outfit to be to the factory visit, knowing there are press cameras, etc.? And the film is to be based in the UK. I am to travel to the UK to attend a filming. I would be wearing pants or a long skirt and a long baggy top with boots. Yes, we are filming just outside of London. All expenses are covered for our cast and crew. And then I put, no, I don't really want to do the filming or travel. Okay, so first thing is I want one to almost dress the style of 1970s movies. You stated earlier a lot about housewives. How would you dress if you were to fit that brief but be true to yourself? If you're happy to write and create, then we would still love you to be a part of it. You're really interactive and authentic to discuss this with, which is a lot of fun compared with to some people who've shown interest. Hello, I take it you no longer want the part.